Hey y'all, what's up? All right, back at it. It's your girl, Mila. All right. So I came across a different brand of resin that I wanted to try. I have been meaning to get away from the one that I am currently using, just for sake of trying something new. And I will say that first impression with this resin is that I actually like it. Now, I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out when it hardens, but if it's like any other resin, it should be good to go. But what I will say is that both parts A and B have a smooth and sort of runny consistency. And typically with other resins, what you'll find is that part A is runny and part B is a little bit on the thicker side. But I will say it makes for mixing the parts and the paint and all that jazz really easy, as you can see. And the bubbles just seem to evaporate again really quickly, so that's a plus in my book as well. I actually found this mat as well on their site, and I think it has some pretty good use. It's supposed to be a catch-all of all the resin droppings, but what you can actually do is turn those resin droppings into other pieces as well, which I found really cool. So I'm definitely going to use that and test that out for something quirky later on. But I found some really cute rose quartz handles that I wanted to incorporate into this tray. Again, when I picked this color, I was anticipating a lighter pink for some reason, but we're here now, so we just got to go with it. I know it looks pretty plain right now, but as you guys know with me, that is not always the case. So with this first layer, again, just making sure there's a solid, good layer when adding the knobs. And then when this hardens, I am going to come over with my final layer. And what I'm thinking to incorporate will either be some lines of like maybe silver or white, and sort of have that effect with the clear resin. I'm envisioning something. Hopefully, it comes to that sort of the same look as the rose quartz, but again, this is definitely a darker shade than I anticipated when mixing this. So, got to work with it. Here, I'm just making sure that the rose quartz are leveled. And what I will say is that this table is a gift and a curse. I am super appreciative because, again, my partner, he's able to put stuff together. And I needed a bigger working table and definitely did not want to shell out the money for that. So he made one for me. This one here definitely has some storage at the bottom, so it holds all of my bases for, my resin, my room sprays, reed diffusers, and since all that jazz, it holds all of my bases below, along with some other stuff. But what I found that over the years is that it's not as level, and thankfully he did put the leveling knobs at the bottom. But in order to do that, I will have to remove all of these items off of this table just to give him access to it and make it easier for him. And I'm being lazy and don't want to do that. So again, you see here, I have my little makeshift, what do you call it? Postcards that I'm sort of using to sort of lift the tray a little bit where it needs to be lifted. And again, have the leveler, the orange leveler off to the side just to make sure that everything is good. So it's a sloppy way of doing it, but it gets the job done for right now. So again, just making sure everything is mixed up. Looking forward to see how this turns out when it is cured tomorrow, so that I can come over again with my last layer and see how this tray turns out. So stay tuned. Hopefully I should have more trays on the site and hopefully at pop-ups for you guys to see in person, because I know it's kind of hard to, distinguish if you like it from online pictures, but looking forward to showing you guys more. So stay tuned. Peace. All right, y'all. So this is the color that I use, and I just wanted to point out exactly why I was like, what the heck? So this is what the color, I was expecting the color to be for the base, to sort of match a little bit to the rose quartz stone, but for some reason this turned out a little darker than I thought. So again, here I am mixing up the second coat. This resin actually did harden a lot faster than I anticipated. Not cured, but hardened enough for me to come over with the second layer. So here I am mixing up some of the silver, some of the white, and some of the lighter pink of an option that I initially wanted to go with, but sort of just put it to the back burner, which was my mistake. I should have stuck to my guns on that one and just went with my gut instinct. However, we are here. So typically my process with coming up with some designs on the tray is sort of just letting my hands freely do what it wants to do. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. In this particular case, I started off small and wasn't quite liking how it was turning out with the heat gun. And so I attempted to add more more paint to it, thinking that will help. And again, it wasn't doing it for me. But eventually I ended up sort of moving things around with my popsicle stick a little bit. And that sort of gave me the look that I was going for. So here, again, spreading it out, but you're going to see very shortly exactly what I'm talking about, where it started off one way and then completely went somewhere else. So and I know a lot of times folks who look at resin videos, they were like, no, stop, don't do anything else, because I'm definitely one of those people like, oh shit, she messed it up. But honestly, I'm happy that I switched in the end. It's sort of, I like it. It's giving me that marble-ish type of feel to the tray. But it looked much better in my opinion than what it did before. So I'm happy with it.